If you lost your Instagram account, what would happen to your business? 3 months ago, that's exactly what happened to me. 128,000 followers gone overnight. But my revenue didn't drop a penny because over the last 93 days, I became obsessed with one thing. How can any business owner become algorithm proof so that they don't need to depend on Facebook and Instagram?
Meta has started a fresh round of global job cuts with around 8,000 employees.
And now thousands of people are getting banned by mistake. I don't want that to be you. So I tested everything that I learned on a small handful of business owners that come to me for social media consulting. And 3 things I learned specifically added $20,000 to $80,000 a month in profit to their offers. So in this video, I am sharing those 3 things that will allow you too to become algorithm proof. Plus the hidden way to keep pushing CTAs in your posts now that Instagram is penalizing DM and comment funnels. Seeing social media as something that you rent, whereas your business is something that you own. So the smartest founders, they think of it as business media and not social media. And the way that you do that is with 3 specific types of content that turn the feeds onto your social media that can vanish in any moment into a gold mine that keeps paying you even if you lose them. Because think about it this way, even if you right now just convert 1% of your audience, that could be $1 million in extra profit per year. I mean, if you have an audience of 20,000 and you have a $5,000 offer, 1% of those converting is an extra $1 million per year. If you've got a 50,000 audience, you'd only need to convert just 0.2% of those if your offer is 10K. So how do you extract that profit? Well, there's 3 types of posts and every post has one of 3 jobs. Now, the first kind of post is where the goal is to reach strangers and turn them into followers because you put out content that is top of the funnel for reach, but specifically it has to get the right people to want to follow you. So if we look at Healthy Fit Bro here, just 3 months ago, right around the time that my Instagram account got banned, he had 300 followers on Instagram. Today, as of the time of recording this, he has just shy of 40,000 followers. So the way that he was able to grow his audience specifically was with this style of written content. He didn't need to post any reels whatsoever because what this written content does is it gets his ideal client to relate to him and it makes them want to follow him, whereby this one specific post on the screen right here, it generated him 1,900 new followers with more than 1 million views, 7,000 profile visits, and 3,500 link taps. And the key is, in this top of the funnel content, we are not trying to drive leads. However, there's one specific style of call to action that I told you about earlier that we can use in order to drive those leads. So let me share it with you. So I call it a sideways CTA. It's the way of slipping a CTA into a top of the funnel post where you're trying to grow your audience because just having an audience isn't as valuable as an audience that is actually owned and controlled by you. So you want to generate their email, you want to generate their phone number. You don't just want to have a DM conversation or a follower because again, that could just be gone tomorrow. So a sideways CTA is this. You can see right here, I literally just say, just message me if you want me to send that over to you. And then when somebody sends a message, what we then do inside of this top of the funnel post is we grab their email or their phone number right there in the DMs, and then we then insert that into our CRM, email them the asset that they're asking for. And of course, if we don't hear from them within a couple of days, we just drop them the link to the landing page so that they can sign up to the freebie. This is how you're able to use that reach style of content where you're speaking to strangers, getting them to follow you, but you're able to also get them on your email list rather than just always having posts that say comment this word or DM me this word, because those are getting heavily penalized right now. Now that's the first type of content with the goal of actually growing your audience and at the same time generating leads in a way the algorithms don't really care about. But because you're doing that, you know you are growing the audience, getting leads come through. The second type of content is where you do more directly ask for the lead and you get people to comment or DM you a keyword. But most importantly, nowadays, you only want to do that once or twice a week purely because of how the algorithms are changing. And this is where in your content, you lead with a problem or a goal that your ideal client has. So here's a post doing exactly that. So this is one of my clients, Anna. She helps people that have a lot of money to restructure their wealth so that they can save on taxes and build more wealth. And so what you can see here is she is getting people to comment the word wealth on the post in order to drive leads to her training. Now, specifically, she makes it very clear that if you aren't already making at least 300 or 400,000 a year, this is not even worth your time. And because she's not trying to flood as many leads as possible, only the right leads, she's not getting penalized by the algorithm. And you can see here, this got 79 warm leads to her webinar. Now, to be clear, she's selling an ultra high ticket package. So she only really needs 1 or 2 people to convert per webinar for her to make tens of thousands per webinar that she does. And so That's why it's really important nowadays, instead of trying to pump as many leads as possible into our freebies, what we're doing is we are leading really clearly with problems or goals that only our most ideal possible clients have. So if you look at this example here, 5 ways to overcome a problem without the thing that you hate doing. Most people get number 3 completely backwards. If you want all 5, comment or DM me the keyword and I'll send them over, right? That's a really simple example of a lead generating piece of content that you could put out in order to drive the right leads, as long as you're only speaking to the problems that your most ideal possible client has. So when you've got the top of the funnel content, you're growing your audience. When you've got the middle of the funnel content, you're generating leads. And when you've got the third piece of content, that's right there where you're able to actually just get a call booked or drive a sale right then and there. So here's an example of what we did with one of our clients' founder. It is as simple as this. The post says, are you looking to start an e-commerce business this month? So that's calling out the ideal client. We're looking for 5 people that are ready for e-commerce success. Reply with the word kickoff so we can chat and see if it's a fit. The third layer is really important because by now you have an audience who have pent up demand. They're interested in working with you and they are keen to actually transact with you. And so what you do is you call out your most ideal possible client and you just give them an offer right then and there. And the goal of this content isn't to get a new follower or to generate a lead. It's to get a qualified appointment or a DM conversation where you can actually transact and make a sale. So before I show you this example from one of our clients, I want to show you that this made 27.5K USD in the first week of doing this style of content for the brand founder. And they have 3.8 million followers, sure, but I've actually worked with a bunch of business owners who don't even have 1,000 followers who have generated more than $20,000 per week from this style of content. So it's really simple. It's just a direct call to action. So in the beginning, you call out the ideal client. So Founders one says, are you looking to start an e-commerce business this month? The next line says, we're looking for 5 people who are ready for e-commerce success. Reply with the word kickoff so we can chat and see if this is a fit. Now, to be very clear, because you're not saying, if you want to make money online, send me a message, you don't get a flood of leads coming through. Again, the more clear and direct your copy is in your social media post, it ensures that you get fewer DMs coming through. Because remember, if you get too many DMs coming through right now, through my research over the last 93 days, I have discovered that that is what can cause these instant bans on Meta, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, because it looks like there's too much bot activity going on in your account, which is why through the copy in your post, you want to be way more specific and stop trying to get as many leads into your DMs as possible and instead get more high intent leads. And the second they raise their hand, you grab their email and their phone number, because that's what business media buys you. It's not social media, it is business media. You are getting that information. So if, for whatever godforsaken reason, you lose your Instagram account with more than 100,000 followers, boom, you can hit the phones, you can WhatsApp them, you can iMessage them, you can email them. That's exactly what I've been doing over the last 93 days, and it has been way better for me than posting on Instagram has. Now, I know this is very small, but if I zoom right in, you can see one story that we wrote for Reversing Diabetes Revolution. It generated them 72 signups in just 3 hours. And by the way, Charmaine started with us when she had less than 400 followers on Instagram. Today, across her social media, she has more than 1 million followers. Thanks to this stuff that I'm sharing with you. She's not relying on just one platform. She's got an email list. She runs trainings to her audience. And that's how she now does more than 6 figures a month in profit. And look, I want to make this easier for you. So you don't have to write these yourself. There is a link in the description box with a free tool that me and my team have built based on our most profitable posts that our clients have made on social media that have generated the most leads and the most clients directly. All you do is you paste your offer into the tool and it generates 8 lead generating and client generating pieces of content for you right now. This is the exact same tool that generated Jeanette Yee $18,000 in 24 hours. It generated Mitchell Miles $24,000 in 48 hours, and it generated 6 high-ticket clients for Bridger Rogers' high-ticket offer in just 2 days. So if you head to the description, you can get that 100% free. And this is the same machine that when my Instagram went away, I just pointed over to the other platforms and my email list. Because when you see it as business media and not social media, you know that social media really is a traffic source. It is there to bring business towards you, and you need to treat it that way. Now, the second way to become algorithm proof is that the DM game has changed. Because if right now you're having long DM conversations back and forth with potential clients in your IG DMs or on your Facebook Messenger, that is now getting penalized by Meta. And I've sold deals as big as $100,000 directly in the DMs. Believe me when I say I am a massive proponent of selling through the DMs, but the game's changed. So the new goal in the DMs has to be to get their email and their phone number as quickly as possible, but so that you're not trapped on somebody else's app and then you can reach them at any time. But critically, the reason why you do this is so that you can then run a monthly live webinar once a month. And this is not as much work as it seems. If you look at the numbers here, let's just say you have an email list of 10,000 people. And you own that, right? You own and control that list. The goal would be to get about 5% of that 10,000 to opt in to your webinar. And then let's say you have an audience of 100,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook. Well, what you can expect is about 1,000 people from that platform to then opt in to your monthly live webinar. Then you're taking about 1% of that audience from your social following onto your list. You're owning and controlling it. You're building up a sovereign power of your business so that you have business media and not just social media. So then from there, if we just take those numbers, obviously, you can just extrapolate the numbers for yourself based upon my averages there, which is 5% of your email list opting in and about 1% of your total following opting in. Well, with our numbers here, right, that's about 1,500 people who sign up to your live webinar. Now, I can do an entire video one day about the webinar strategy. Let me know if you would actually want that. But I see webinars not just as this like live training that you do and then boom, you make a bunch of sales and that's it. In fact, I like to segment the data so that there are 3 ways that you can actually generate clients from the webinars that you run. So the first way is before the webinar even happens. Now, what you do is that after somebody opts into your webinar, they put their name, email, and phone number. After that page, I see so many people just leaving a blank page. That is literally real estate. That is highly valued real estate, just like this coastal real estate where I'm at right now. And imagine if you just had this beautiful area right now with just an empty building, okay? That would be really stupid because just like where I'm at right now, instead you could just have a really expensive hotel, and that's exactly what this building's doing. So I'm seeing a bunch of people with like 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, just like a guy that I recently consulted in the AI space. I'm seeing people with more than 1 million subscribers on YouTube, 80,000 in the B2B. And the post opt-in page just says thank you. Do you understand? This is literally like having no hotel where I'm at right now. That would be a complete waste of space. So what you do instead is instead of on that page having thank you, you have your invitation is going to be in your email inbox within the next 5 minutes. But while you wait, watch this quick video because I got a special invitation for you. And in that video, you basically break down, listen, because you signed up for this training about this topic, what I've got for you, if you're someone that just wants to shortcut this and just get the results quickly, and boom, you insert your offer right there. And then whatever your sales process is, whether you want to take them to a VSL, or if you want to take them to a Book a Call, or if you want to take them to an automated webinar where you already have your sales process set up, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But the most important thing is that after somebody opts in, you give them an offer right then and there because the right people will buy. If you think about yourself, you're probably not going to sit watching a live webinar and waiting for the webinar to come until you can buy. Like anyone like me or you who's serious about scaling your business, you just want the offer right now and you want to decide if it's a fit or not. Simple, right? So if you actually think about it, the very best clients, the ones that just want to make a decision right then and there, they don't even need to go to the webinar. They want to have the information before. So that is why you can expect about 7% of the people, this is the KPI to go for, 7% of people that opt in should book a call right before the webinar even happens on that post opt-in page. Like implement this and I'm telling you, you will make a crap load more money. Now, that's the first way. The second way is obviously the live webinar. Okay, this is where, and I'm just going to be completely honest, I actually think the worst customers come from the live webinar because again, who is actually sitting around watching a live webinar? Like, let's just be completely honest. But with that being said, there are some people who like to buy that way. And so these people, they'll come to the live webinar, they'll get all the information, they'll make a decision, and another 6 or 7% you can expect to actually convert there on that webinar. But then we also have the third way, which is again what loads of people forget because they just get AI to make some bullshit emails. I'm telling you, another 6 to 7% will convert on the automations on the back end. These automated people, like who watch the replay, right? They'll watch it on double speed, they'll skip back and forth, maybe they'll just watch a few sections of it. I like those type of clients, just like how I like the first type of clients. I mean, I like the second type of clients too, who buy on the live webinar. I'm just saying, if you've got a more sophisticated audience like I do, those are the ones where maybe they're a bit more beginner. They have a few more questions before they buy. But those that book a call, or they buy right before the webinar happens on the opt-in page, or those who buy from the automated emails on the back end, they're typically busier, they typically have less time, but they typically have more money. And so again, if you're going after a more sophisticated audience, just like I am, and like a bunch of the people that I consult for do, then you're going to be absolutely cleaning up with those two spaces, which is why you want to spend a bunch of time there. So with that being said, if we just run the numbers from before, 1,500 signups, I mean, you can really expect about 315 sales calls on the back of that. Now, these numbers are from organic, right? This is not like a cold ad strategy. I'm here talking about pulling people from social media, from your existing list, and converting them onto a webinar, into a webinar funnel, should I say, and then from there, generating sales on the back end. So that's about 21% of people that opt into the webinar. So that's the ultimate goal where you want to get to, where you will get to if you're running this monthly live webinar on repeat, because I've run this across hundreds of clients in all sorts of different niches. It works, it prints, it takes a bit of effort to get going, of course, but when it makes this much money, of course you should do it. So that is how your list and your monthly live webinars are then able to fill your calendar and your offers. And because that lead generating style of content goes into your DMs first, you're then able to have a conversation. So if you just look at what Tara Grimes did, she had a brand new Instagram DM setter come in and they were able to click 34,000 in their very first week, okay? So this really works. Now, those are the first two things to do in order to become algorithm proof. And the third thing, which is something that I've been thinking about a lot since my Instagram went down, because obviously I'm typically consulting people that have an audience on social media. And so part of the social proof is they see my Instagram with this massive following, loads of engagement. And what it made me realize is it's very important to have an offer that converts to cold traffic, not just because of your personal brand. Now, the issue with that is if your offer only sells to warm traffic, that means that your entire business is completely dependent on you having an audience. So the real test that I would ask you is, would your offer sell to someone that has never heard of you before? Because you really do have complete freedom when your offer converts cold, because you can then just buy traffic on any platform on any day, and you're not even required to have an audience. But if your offer depends on your story, your social proof, your credibility, that's not really a cold traffic friendly offer. And so what we did with our business, I'll use this as a case study for you, is we built our offer into a no-brainer offer whereby they don't need to go and see my Instagram in order to believe that our company, Scale Systems, is credible. And we were able to more than double our prices from this. So because our focus has been how can we make this so that they don't need to see me or know me in order to buy, the thought process is how can I take on way more for the client so that they don't feel like there is as much risk involved. I mean, Hormozi's value equation really nailed this part. And candidly, I had never really thought about this before because I was really reliant on my Instagram, because it's really easy to make sales if you have a strong Instagram until it's not, until it goes, right? And part of the downside of having that beautiful brand as well is that you get a bunch of different people coming towards you at any one time, and it can kind of make it a bit murky. You maybe don't disqualify as many of the potential clients as you could because a lot of different people follow you. And whereas when you're running cold traffic, when you are building an offer that is really there just because people want that thing, they want to buy that specific thing to solve that specific problem, you're then able to hardcore make sure that you're only working with those ideal right fit clients. And I never realized how important this was to do because, again, before I was so used to just getting the boatload of all different types of clients coming to me. But now I am seeing, wow, actually focusing on having a cold traffic friendly offer that doesn't rely on the personal brand is so incredibly key, because you then give more value to the market. You're then able to charge a higher price. The wrong people are turned away. That is an offer that then sells to someone that has never heard of you before. And it also means that you are building a business that you could exit one day. And within all of this, I had an even bigger lesson, which is on the topic of a personal brand. And a personal brand, actually, despite even back in the day, you can look at some of my first YouTube videos were all about how to build a personal brand, because that's what I had done in the fitness industry when I built my first business so successfully. Personal brand isn't actually the right term, in my opinion. I don't think that's the right term. I think that building micro niche authority is the thing that we should all be chasing, because if you think about one account built for one group of people, one room, let's just say, which are the exact people that you actually want to sell to, it's much more powerful than building a generic personal brand. Because the issue with the personal brand is it grows and evolves organically, which means that, back to my point about building a cold traffic friendly offer, you don't ever really sit down intentionally and map out this is my business plan, this is my offer. You've kind of just got an audience and you can kind of really sell anything you want. I mean, look at Mr. Beast selling Feastables or Imagazi selling sunglasses, right? And because the brand grows organically, it means that you don't put intentionality into it. So back in the day when I had my fitness business and this post was made in 2017 with people from my school mocking me because that's how long ago it was over there that I was on Instagram delivering value. Over time, I started helping people with their own brand. I helped a bunch of fitness creators launch their own offers. They made hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars from what I taught them. And then other people wanted to help with that. And then slowly but surely it grows. And half your audience doesn't care about what you're talking about. And this is why you see some people suddenly, they build this massive brand and then no one really cares about them anymore because it's not relevant to what they're doing to this day and age. Or as the personal brand, you change your mind and what you're interested in. And then because you've changed, your audience is kind of lagging behind you. So that's why I'm really bullish on micro niche authority, because ultimately what we then do is we have an offer that converts cold. We start there. We then build a machine that feeds it. And because we see it as business media and not social media, the whole thing cycles around because we can bring feedback from what the business actually needs back into our offer. We can then reiterate on the machine and so on and so forth. And that really is exactly what I've got for you down in the description box, because that free tool is going to be able to write those posts that pull people off social media onto your list, and it's going to be able to ensure that you can generate a load of revenue from your social media today. So go down to the description and get that right now. And it's been crazy to see the stuff that we've been able to do on LinkedIn while my Instagram has been gone. So if you want to hedge your bet and build another platform, this video over here about how the LinkedIn algorithm has changed and how you can capitalize on it is absolutely one that you should watch next. So click that video and I'll see you over there.